I was a cheerleader and I had this really amazing cheer coach. She was a leader in any way that you can imagine. And I really looked up to her, and I looked to model my behavior after her. Leadership and modeling by example is huge for me personally, but also within the field of social work, of course. And I kind of integrated that into my professional world, and as I've grown as a social worker, to really be a leader within the field. And that ties in with being a strong advocate for the folks we work with, for ourselves, for our organizations. So I think she was a big starting point in terms of helping me develop who I am and be a strong leader and be a strong social worker. Like a lot of folks in the helping profession, some of my personal experiences kind of led me into the field. And in high school, I started working with a school social worker, and I was in some support groups, and then I also became a peer counselor. So I was trained in that. I was good at it, I liked it, and the social worker that was training us for that program was like, this is an actual field that you could go into. You can do this for a living, talk with folks, engage with folks. So I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. When I started to apply for college, I looked for schools that had social work programs and started looking a little bit more into the field, and still had a very vague grasp as to what social work encompassed. I just knew that I loved it. I loved talking with people. I loved tackling hard issues. So when I got into college and I was at CNU, Christopher Newport, and started the social work program, just fell right into place. And the topics we discussed in class, the readings we had to do, the issues we explored, it was difficult, but in a very exciting way. I was fortunate enough to lead a couple of organizations on campus. One was NAMI on campus, National Alliance of Mental Illness, and the other one was NASW-VA, the Social Work Association. They were huge learning experiences in terms of how to lead a group, and we did some really fun projects with those groups and did a lot of advocacy on campus and in the community. We implemented some community service events too, which I was very passionate about. They were so much fun to plan and implement, and working with a group of students who were just as passionate as you, it was very, very inspiring and just very exciting, and keeps the energy going. So many people have influenced me in my life. My backbones are my parents. My mom and my dad have both been really great influence and supported me in what I wanted to do personally and professionally. I wish I would have explored more opportunities, particularly in the form of volunteer opportunities and working with different populations, different types of agencies or organizations, just kind of exploring other groups and different types of issues out there. I'm interested in almost everything, it seems like. When I read about a certain position or opening on paper, I'm thinking, oh, that's so cool. But then you might not really realize what that position or what that encompasses until you're actually in the field. I really like working with kids in foster care, but I've also applied for some case management positions with community-based organizations. They each differ in the population they serve. There's one case management position working with military folks transitioning out of service into civilian life. There's one position working with families that have just immigrated to the United States and help them get acclimated. I'm just hoping to find somewhere that's a good fit for me and learning even more and expanding my professional experience and my experience within the field of social work, because we know there's so many ways that you can work with folks. I'm just so passionate about the field. I love engaging with people. I love working with people that other professionals might be scared to engage with or might have certain misconceived perceptions of them. Within social work, we tackle things that other folks don't even imagine and they don't discuss on a daily basis or they don't even fathom. The people we work with are so stigmatized and they're thought of in such a certain way. And I just want to push that out to the side and say that doesn't matter. These folks deserve attention, they deserve love, they deserve kindness, they deserve empathy. And I don't know, we're all human beings, no matter where you are in life, or no matter what challenges you're going through at the time. It's not about us, it's not about you as the social worker. It's about the folks that you empower, the folks that you encourage to adapt to life circumstances and make positive changes and decide who they want to be and what they want to do and how to get there. Being a social worker is part of who you are. It's an innate thing. It's an innate drive to make people's lives better, to make society better, to destigmatize certain issues, certain populations, certain groups. as social workers, we talk about self-determination and how can we motivate folks and encourage and empower people to turn their life around in whatever facet that looks like and get to where they want to be and then even beyond. How can we push people's buttons in a positive and encouraging way to make positive and lasting changes for themselves individually, for their families, for the community. So it started with me and then has blossomed into something I could never even imagine. 3 words that encompass social work: passion, passionate, being passionate about the field, all-encompassing. Maybe that's not a word, but the field of social work is all-encompassing of so many different types of people, different types of backgrounds, issues, races, ethnicities, gender identities, so many different aspects. So all-encompassing. And then the last one, I would say empathy. And I think that will resonate with a lot of folks because our field is largely centered around the idea of empathy and how to empathize with someone and meet someone where they're at and being as non-judgmental as possible. So passion, all-encompassing, and empathy. I personally feel just very fortunate to be a part of that process within an individual's life or within a family's life or an organization's life. I mean, we can engage people at so many different levels, but to be a part of that journey in creating positive change and hopefully lasting change, despite all the hardships and the things going against us as social workers, having those moments and those positive experiences with your clients and within the field is just, it's amazing. And I'm very fortunate to be a part of it.